So you'll see.
って書いてあるとすごい気になっちゃう。そろそろ魚介食べたいな。
It warms my heart because it's been several years since my friends from Japan have come here because of COVID. So those of you who have been here before, welcome back. And those of you who are new, I welcome you to my studio. Short as possible. Right now, about the work you're about to see, there's lots of new work. And then after that, we'll let you go into the rest of the studio. There's a studio behind me, and there's a studio all upstairs. I just want to give you a brief history of what's happened over the 3 years. First thing, let's forget all about COVID. Let's pretend like it never happened. But because it did happen, for me, I had a great advantage because I was able to work all day, all night with no interruptions. And for those of you who don't know, and I apologize, I don't mean to depress you, I'm just giving you some history. I had stage 4 colon liver cancer 35 years ago. And at that point, 35 years ago, they gave me 2 years to live. And they were very serious. So when I started living past the 2 years, I realized that my work had to be about the feeling of being alive in the world. So this is why I say I paint about the things I can't ignore, because I just watch people all day. I can't ignore them. For my wife Jennifer and I, it was very different because we have this studio, and usually every 3 months for a month we go to Tahiti, and I have a studio there that I painted. So we experience life both in America and in Tahiti. So our other studio in Tahiti, they have an interesting way of communicating with each other. They communicate through each other, through small villages, through small islands, and that's how they get information and educate one island to the next island. And they call this coconut radio. And luckily we still have this painting. This is from 2000. I started this in January. I think we started closed down in March. And the name of this painting is Shalala. The word Shalala in Tahitian refers to gossip. It's the first painting about learning through communicating to each other. On the horizon line, you can see the island of Bora Bora, which is a very famous island in Tahiti. And of course, Charles Schulz's character Snoopy is wearing a big headdress. And many people have said to me, how did you make the headdress look so appropriate? Because I've never seen Charles Schulz draw a Tahitian headdress on his characters. So what I did was, I went through all of Charles Schulz's peanut strips and found different flowers maybe a flower sitting next to Charlie Brown on the table or a bush outside. And I took all those flowers and made a headdress out of it so it looked like Charles Schultz drew it. So, as I was saying, we do paintings in Tahiti every few months, for a month, and then I bring them back here. But while I'm in Tahiti, I experience a totally different world than I experience here in this universe. When we fly to Tahiti, and this sounds very funny and odd, but we always feel it takes 8 hours to fly there. We fly in the middle of the night, and Jenny and I often think that while we're asleep, we go through some kind of time hole into another universe. Because it feels like another universe. It's just like here, but everything is different. For example, we have water, the Pacific Ocean like we have here, but the Pacific Ocean in Tahiti is crystal clear like drinking water. And the 23 years that we've been going there, we've noticed that even the fish, although they look like the fish we have in this universe, are very different. And I say that because the fish here are usually caught by fishermen and then we eat them. Whereas a lot of the fish in Tahiti will actually wait for us at our porch at my studio so we can go for a walk with them in the water. Even my eating habits are different in this universe than they are in the Tahitian universe. For example, in this universe, because of my cancer history that I told you about, I don't eat any sugary, buttery treats. But when I'm in Tahiti, I go fatso. I eat all of the croissants I can find because they make the freshest croissants in the world. And any of you know, once you eat a lot of sugary, buttery treats, you have a certain feeling of tiredness, like you just feel like laying down after you eat all of it. So that's what brought me to the new prints that we have over here. And you can see, once you have a chance to look at this big print, it shows all the different activities that take place around palm trees, especially after we eat croissants. So I wanted to pick a couple of pieces, and we picked 4 in particular, to show you some of the activities that do happen after I eat a lot of croissants. And underneath the palms is the title of the whole group of 4. So I've talked about eating croissants of each 4 things. For example, the Lucy one is called chocolate vanilla croissant. And that's because the chocolate that they make in Tahiti, handmade in Tahiti, is some of the best in the world, and the vanilla that they grow in Tahiti is by far every chef's in the world's favorite. But it's actually a metaphor for how well chocolate and vanilla exist in peace. The piece next to it, where Snoopy and Woodstock are laying in a floaty, is called Symphony Croissant. And that's because many times after we eat a lot of croissants, Jenny and I will get into our kayaks and float under palm trees, and the wind moves the palm tree fronds so that they make symphony sounds like an orchestra. The piece next to it has Woodstock wearing sunglasses laying in a chair underneath the palms. It is called Sparkling Croissant. It's titled that because the famous artist Henri Matisse went to Tahiti in 1927, and when he came back, he said he found Tahiti too bright and too lethargic. And I think Matisse found it too lethargic because he probably as well ate too many croissants. But my biggest disagreement with Henri Matisse is that he said it was too bright. And I understand that. There's often times that we can't even look in a mirror and see ourselves because the reflection on the water makes everything so bright. But what Matisse missed is that brightness helps you see even deeper into what Tahiti looks like. And the final piece of the 4, which you can't see from where you're sitting, is Snoopy being held by Charlie Brown. This is called the Love Croissant. I wanted to describe the love that Tahitian people have for family and friends. Take care, everybody else. One, two, three, go. All right.
Very international.
The other day, they were all dressed in there.
Wait for you, running out of time, and you don't tell the truth, so something doesn't feel right. Don't share secrets and tell